didn't think a kid was a good fit, and she essentially, if you want to call it, transferred up.
If the coach moves on, there's a new coach, and I think that deems for someone to transfer.
And you're a senior now, and you haven't committed, you're getting impatient.
Sending out film to coaches is good, but at the same time, sometimes coaches open it, sometimes they don't.
The best thing I did was I was honest with each one of the club directors, the parents.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a JUCO
product right here, South Plain.
Exactly.
And the AAU game's so watered down, compared to when we played in it. You know what I'm saying? It was this main tournament you got to get to, and they don't realize that that's hurting the recruits. But I know everything a money grab now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference.
Kids are not getting the playing time and they leave. And
I can work with that. I can help grow that, right? Because as coaches, our job is to what?
You hop in a portal and you have 4 points per game. You played 5 minutes.
There's some high-level kids that aren't getting recognition or don't have rankings or don't have offers.
I don't know that there's a solution for it. I think that we all know we live in a generation of instant gratification.
Sometimes the episodes is just not enough. You need weekly information sent to you on top of these episodes, so make sure you subscribe. But if you want weekly tips, weekly updates straight to your inbox, make sure you message. Follow us. Welcome to It's Just Different podcast, where we bring on people who have been where you're trying to go and or have helped countless athletes get there. Y'all, we're going to do something different for these next few episodes. We're going to take it back. Yes, we are taking it back to all of our episodes to give you the information that I know you missed. We're going to combine different sections, different topics together in one episode. So we're going to have the college coaches, different perspectives, giving you information to help you. We got college coaches, we got AAU coaches, we got professional players, we got our most watched episodes. We got a lot of different episodes to take it back so that you can get this information that I know you missed out on. So come with us on this journey as we take it back, because we got something special for our 50th episode. Now let's get to the episode.
That doesn't mean I don't care about you, because I care about every one of my kids. And I felt like I did it the right way, because each kid, all 7 of them that I helped, talking about like the next, they've all found schools, but they've all been appreciative of the honesty too. And some of them, I've been fortunate that I didn't think a kid was a good fit, and she essentially, if you want to call it, transferred up into the Big East. And so that was a positive for her. But I think that's the tough part, but you also got to let them know that just where the standard is, or what you're not, maybe not the right fit, whether me as their head coach or whether the system doesn't fit them, like what we're trying to do. But I think the best thing I did was I was honest with each one of the club directors, the parents and stuff, as I was having the conversation with the kids, because it needs to be for their best well-being. It doesn't do them any good. I could have brought a couple of them back. They just wouldn't have played. Well, a lot of kids want to play. And if that's what they want to do, to help them find the right fit. So open communication, direct communication is I've found to be the best. And they're going to respect you a lot more in the end. For some of them might not take the news great at that time, but in the long run, they'll appreciate it because it was honest.
Now, what if you do have a kid that wants to be there? They don't really care about playing time.
I got to win. And I'm used to winning. I gave each one of them the opportunity that they could be a walk-on. But that's just where I was at that moment. Obviously, probably won't have to have as many of them tough conversations each year. But it helped me. It prepared me to be a better coach just going through it. But no, it wasn't. Regardless if they were here or not, they weren't going to be on scholarship.
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes sense. I'm curious. What you guys got to travel a lot through spring, summer. What do you enjoy the most about recruitment, about being out during live period?
I enjoy seeing my counterparts. I enjoy seeing players that we are building relationships with on the phone. I enjoy seeing parents that are eager to be out there and support their kids, but also eager to build relationships. I enjoy being around the people, whether it be club directors, AAU coaches, other Division I coaches, other Division II coaches, JUCO coaches, young coaches just getting in the game. I enjoy being around people because the only way our game's going to survive and stay elevated is the people, whether it be the players, the coaches, the directors. And so I found it, I find it complimentary to be able to be around and help others that are getting into the game.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's I've been trying to find just like my way, my lane, since I'm doing something different, and I'm in a tournament every weekend, but that's what I enjoy. I mean, pretty much everything you just said, just being able to walk in the gym and being able to see the kids, them running up to me, seeing the parents. I think it's just basketball is a community. It's a sisterhood. It's a brotherhood. Like, it's literally a community, and when you nurture it, it nurtures you back. So I definitely agree with that, and I want to stay on recruiting for a little bit, to help these parents out. I'm big on just giving them information. That's what this podcast is for, is giving them as much information, education as possible. A lot of parents feel we're going to go to Heart of Texas, we're going to go to Clash of Clubs, Run for the Roses, all these tournaments, and it's going to be 100 plus coaches there. My kid is going to get an offer. My kid is going to get recruited. Rules, like certain amount of times you can transfer, like something, because I'm not saying I'm against the transfer portal. I definitely think, just like you said, like coaches move around. I do think that kids should be able to do the same, like especially if they go to an opportunity that just might not be the opportunity for them. Like, I don't think that kids should stay somewhere that they're just not happy. But I'm also on the flip side of that. I see where it's just kids in general where they're mad and they just want to up and transfer. They didn't play that many minutes and they just want to up and transfer. And I think that is kind of getting a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, and to that point, yeah, I would agree with that. I think there has to be some form of stipulations when it comes to transferring. If the coach moves on, there's a new coach, and I think that deems for someone to transfer. Playing time is big. I mean, kids are not getting them playing time, and they leave, and I don't know what we're teaching these young players if we allow that. Um, but you want to try to help them out, and we just be transparent with these young players and parents, and we hope that the parents can kind of work through it. The toughest thing is this: you're going from one program to another. Are you chasing money? Are you chasing playing time? Like, what are you chasing? Success,
Yeah.
culture, and it's for me, it's you're having to learn a new system. So if you're playing this type of system, can you adjust and play this type of system within 3 months? Not just
Mm-hmm.
the system, but you're being recruited in the portal. If it's a new coach, you're being recruited within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it
Yep.
is, and you're getting to know someone for 2 3 weeks, and you're saying yes or no to that coach. Whereas someone you've spent the whole season with,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying, and you got to know them. I don't know. I just For me, whenever I grew up in a generation where if something breaks, you fix it. Um, and it's not like that now, you know.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because you also see where, and I mean, I guess I get it. Like I say, I feel like everybody's situation is different. But I'm also seeing a ton of kids that's in a conference and they do well and they think, oh, I need to go move up. And it doesn't work out that way. So I just think
Right.
it's just a lot that goes into it. But I will say it's been fun on Twitter, like just watching. Like, I feel like I've just like scroll and I'm like, oh, okay, this kid is going here. Oh, this kid is in a portal. Oh, this is happening. Like, it's just like all on Twitter. And that makes it exciting, I guess.
Yeah, it can get very entertaining, just to see what happens and where people go and all. But it's like you play in an era where you have to sit out a
Right.
year. I'm sorry, right? You sit out a year, and that kind of makes you question.
Yes, for
I think
sure.
twice, and I've seen like you said, very successful programs lose players to the portal, and
That's what it is right now. So they see some of these other players committing and doing these different
Mhm.
things. And you're a senior now and you haven't committed, you know, you're getting impatient, you're hearing, oh, you need to hold off or whatever the case may be. And then you're up against the transfer portal. Like, what are some things that they can do? How can they combat this what are some options they should be looking at?
Yeah. I think that when you're at that level where you're not being highly recruited, I don't know if, whether it is that you're playing on a team that doesn't get out to as many tournaments, or if you're on a really well-known AAU travel team, but you're not getting any minutes because of how well-known the team is. I think a good way to combat that is now you have to take some measures into your own hand. Sending out film to coaches is good, but at the same time, sometimes coaches open it, sometimes they don't because of the things that they're swamped with.
Right.
So my advice would be to go out, visit camps, go to different camps, elite camps. I've been a part of multiple staffs where we're at elite camp and we're like, this kid is not on our radar. Who is this kid? And simply off of that kid now gets added and they're getting more looks. Now we're figuring out how to continue watching them when we go out in July. I would say go on unofficial visits, and don't just go on unofficial. If you don't have any offers, we're not going on unofficial visits to Baylor and Texas. No, we're going to go to unofficial visits at every school. We're going to go to the JUCOs around us. We're going to go to the mid-majors around us. We want to see what school looks like from their perspective. We want to get on those coaches' radar. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a JUCO player. Mm-hmm. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a JUCO
product player. Right here, South Plains.
Exactly. South Plains, TVCC in Texas, like those two JUCOs produced so many high-level players, and sometimes your testimony is your testimony. Your journey is your journey, right? So your journey can turn into your testimony if you allow it to. But you can also block your testimony because you're not allowing it to unfold in the way that it's supposed to unfold. Right. So I would say for them to go to different elite camps. I would say for them to, go to different unofficial visits and make sure that it's you're casting your net wide with that and going to different levels, right? We're not going to the high mid majors if we haven't had any scholarship opportunities. I would say work with somebody who understands the process, please.
Yes. Yes.
Please work with somebody who understands the process. Former players who've played at the level, who have connections with college coaches. Because for the most part, you do it all the time. You'll send me film of some of your kids and be like, yo, what level is this?
Yes.
There, you need that honest feedback. And please, please, please do not be disillusioned. Do not live in a land of delusion, right? If you have not received any Power 5 offers, again, we talked about it earlier. That means you are not a what, Ash?
A Power 5 kid.
You're not a Power 5 player. What I will say, there are some kids who end up going to the mid-major level and have great seasons who then get called up.
Then get called up. Many times.
So there's various opportunities, different ways to go about it, but don't be disillusioned. Allow your journey to unfold in the natural way, organic way that it's going to.
Yeah. And you said something earlier about, basically the type of team you're playing on, whether it's a well-known team and you're not getting a lot of minutes, or a team that's not getting exposure. Did you know that I have 2 books? One called The Little Girl with Big Dreams. It's about an ambitious little girl who overcomes every no to say yes to her dream. The other is called Changing Lanes. It teaches you about the things that you learn from sport and how it translates to life after sport. Be sure to check these out at itsjustdifferentpod.com. Let's get to the episode.
But it's like you play in an era where you have to sit out a year. I'm sorry, right? You sit out a year, and that kind of makes you question.
Yes, for sure.
I think twice, and I've seen like you said, very successful programs lose players to the portal, and they're probably chasing more, whether it's like you said earlier, the whole money or playing time, or just a different culture and vibe. I get all that, but maybe we're not doing our research early. And getting to know these coaches in the system and the program, the university, the area. Maybe we're not doing the homework early so that we don't get there. Like trying to preventing ourselves from getting into the portal. But that comes with being honest with one another, being transparent all around, and just trusting that you're there for a reason. And after the season, if things didn't work out for whatever reason it is, then it is what it is. But I just feel like sometimes kids go into a program, players go into a program, and they're already on the way out before they even give it give it a chance. And so, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And you just said something about research, like doing a research. A part of that, I feel like parents and kids don't ask enough questions at the end of the day. They don't ask enough questions for whatever reason. But a part of that reason is I do feel like a lot of parents and kids don't know. They just don't know what to ask. Like they're on a recruiting call. I always say when a coach asks if you have any questions, do not say not at this moment. Do not say no. Like ask questions. I feel like a lot of parents and kids think like, oh, this coach called me. Like, I tell them, look at it as like they want to know about you, but you also need to want to know about them. You also need to want to know about their school. You also need to want to know about where they see you playing. So, like, you've been a college coach. What questions would you say parents and players should be asking when they're taking these recruiting calls?
Well, for me, I enjoy parents and players asking me questions that may not be on the docket.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything about basketball or the school. I mean, that's easy to answer, and those are things you can research and find out. But getting to know each other, you got to get to know the coaches and the people that you're going to be coached by for the next year. You're going to see this. You're going to be with this coach for 6 days out of the week.
Right.
And do you get along with that coach? Do you like their personality? Do you like their character? Is that someone that you would love to be a role model for you, or someone that you can look up to, or someone that you want in your life for the next 40 years?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important. And just asking those type of questions, like getting to know someone genuinely. The whole basic questions of what kind of system you run and playing time and school and all that. I mean, I think those questions are easily researchable and very generic when it comes to it, but just get to know the coaches that you guys are being recruited by. And if y'all can ask tough questions, they should be able to answer them. I always tell my recruits, ask me any question you want, and if it's too personal, I just won't answer them. But
Yep, and that's where I learned. That's why I learned my best skill development. I learned my best. Like heck, I can walk. I can clean. I even did it last year. I can push broom a floor. Like I'm next level on that stuff. So I like junior college, and I always will, and I'll always be a proponent of it.
Yeah, and I also feel like a lot of people think like South Plains was nice. Like we had nice dorms, we had nice facilities. I think that's a lot of players think it'll be rundown gyms and I'm not saying every school is the same, but most of these junior college have nice gyms. They got nice locker rooms. They have nice things.
Yeah, Northwest Florida, Florida Southwestern, Tyler, like Angelina, like you can go down the list. Midland, there is nice gyms, and when you're winning in junior college, these are some of the smaller communities. Usually, they get around you. They get like
yes.
now. It's not like it was in the old days of like where it was really really crazy, and I think JUCO's dropped off a little bit, but I still think there's some very viable, and it's what you're seeing. Some of these Power 5 and D1s, they're not able to fill their rosters, so they're going the junior college route.
Yeah. Now, what's your thoughts on, let's say we have kids that want to play D1, and they have JUCO opportunity. So they got JUCO offer, and they have D2 offer, and they have an NAIA offer.
Just to have an offer of any sorts is a positive for them. That's every offer offers an opportunity, and I think it's going to be case by case, person by person, because you're seeing also if you think you're that good, go dominate D2.
Yeah.
Go dominate NAIA, because guess what? If you're that good and you decided, oh, I've achieved here and I've done it, and you go in the portal, you're going to have an opportunity. There's a lot of people. I saw a thing the other day that Tarleton State has signed somebody from D2, D3, and junior college.
Really?
This year. So they just, yeah. So like opportunities out there. If you're really good at what you do, people are going to see you.
So how do y'all, and I'm asking this because I don't know, like in the transfer portal, what do y'all see? Like, let's say it's Ashley Roberts who's at this NAIA that you've never heard of, and I averaged 30 points. Is that what you're seeing in the transfer portal, or do you just see Ashley Roberts?
No, I see Ashley Roberts. You got to do your paper. You got to do your background. You got to do your research. Just my team alone, I've got 7 new kids coming in,
Mm-hmm.
3 D1 transfers. One of them's a Power Five. One's a kid that went away and wants to come back. 2 are in conference. I got a JUCO. Then I got 2 internationals and then a California kid. So the makeup is all different. I got the job so late last year, I wasn't able to use the portal because it was already pretty much picked over. And so the transfer portal is the single way, quickest way to turn a program around,
Mm-hmm.
because you can go get experience, and you can go get some hoopers out there that are wanting to, there's some Power Five kids that'll leave that want to just go be the main role on a mid major. Then you also got some kids that have coming up from D2 or junior college. So every kid's different, but you got to do your research because you can get stuck with some
Yeah.
duds sometimes too.
Now, do you think a lot of coaches are moving towards more portal kids versus high school kids?
Well, I think you're going to see this. I think you're going to see high school kids commit earlier to make sure that they have a spot. And my philosophy is I'm going to go recruit the best high school kids.
And the AAU game's so watered down, compared to when we played in it. You know what I'm saying? It was this main tournament you got to get to, and they don't realize that that's hurting the recruits. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have a lot of schools that don't have that budget to where they can go all the way to South Carolina and then fly all the way back to Texas to see 1 and 2 kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now these coaches are going, and wherever most state kids are on that list is where they gonna go. And then that's how other kids get scratched off, because now they went to this tournament and then seeing such and such playing against her, and she Adidas. So now I can just go to all Adidas tournaments and catch all of this group right here together. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really hurting the game. But I know everything a money grab now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. But it is what it is. It's definitely hurting the recruits. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it's gonna come down to. Where most of the kids are, on your list. You gonna go, and then now you at that tournament, and let's say Susie Beth was out in South Carolina, but she was the only one out there. Now you just seeing somebody that played similar to Susie Beth, if not better. Now she on the list. You know what I'm saying? And Susie Beth then got washed down because she the only person that play on that circuit.
Right.
And we're not gonna be running back when we can go to just one circuit and see our whole list.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why we like the Heart of Texas. I like going to something like the Heart of Texas because it's all circuits there. It's not just Adidas or Under Armour, you know what I'm saying, or Nike teams. Like, I prefer to go to the tournaments where everybody playing together, honestly.
For sure. No, that definitely makes sense. Man, before we get out of here, we got to talk about Denver just a little bit. Just get the people some information about Denver. What would you say is the best thing about y'all's conference?
Oh, our conference is competitive. We always got a team. This year we got 3 teams. You got South Dakota State in the NCAAs. You got North Dakota State, and I believe Oral Roberts as well got a chance to play in the WNIT and the WBIT this year. So just having those opportunities.
My bad. You said WBIT, and I just, what is that new?
This year, I believe it's a spinoff this year. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, what is the W? Like, I've been seeing people talk about it and saying it was new. I didn't know, like, what's the difference between the WBIT and the WNIT?
One is a spinoff of, no, don't give me the line. One is the spinoff of the NCAA. You know what I'm saying? Which is invitational. You invited to both of them. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, one, the NCAA gets you there. And another one, you and your institution has to provide the funds to get your team there.
Okay, I got you.
They're all invitational. You know what I'm saying? You're invited to them. But one, you have to pay out of pocket, basically. And one is covered by the NCAA.
I got it. Okay. Makes sense. My bad. Okay. Was that it about the conference?
No. Yeah, that was pretty much it. We got a conference that's always making it to the postseason. Some people try to on a Summit League, but I think we have a very competitive conference from the top to the bottom. The University of Denver, you always gonna come there and it's gonna be authentic. We big on relationships. We sell our academic. We consider Coach Woods one of the futuristic coaches. You know what I'm saying? She's a player coach. Very, 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 when they talk about women and putting women in front, she's one of those coaches that's gonna do that. She the head of the table, but she always pulling up chairs for you to sit right at the table with her. Very motivational, mentorship. She's gonna put you in the right place for life after college. You know what I'm saying? I feel like at the University of Denver, it's bigger than basketball. And that's what I love about being a part of that program and the institution. Basketball wins and losses is cool. Everybody want to win. But who's going to set you up for life after college?
Yes, we have merch available. Be sure to check out the site at itsjustdifferentpod.com to see if it's something you might like. All right, back to the episode.
So those are the things that I'm like, oh, I like her. I can work with that. I can help grow that, right? Because as coaches, our job is to what? Help players improve.
Yeah, right.
You have to help players improve. And I don't care if you receive a kid in high school, by the time they leave your school in 4 years, they should be better.
Yeah,
they absolutely should be better. That's a sign of you having done your job. So I want to see how kids impact plays, what kind of motor they have, and what kind of grit they have. Obviously, I need kids who are skilled, who can shoot the ball, and who can fit a specific mold. But naturally, my eyesight is like, man, that kid right there, even if I know she isn't at the level to play where I'm at, I'll make a note and I'll be like, you know what, she'll be really good in this conference, or she'll be really good in that conference. And because I've played in so many different or coached in so many different conferences, you know, you have connections, you've networked, you know other coaches. You're going to pass that name off to this coach now, and you're going to be like, yo, look at this kid. Come to court 5. This kid is killing it. She can't play at our level, but I know she'll rock it at yours. So yeah, that's another thing that kids
right
don't know.
there is a gem for sure. Like, I don't think parents and players really understand that. You know, everybody gets so caught up in the Power Fives, and obviously I'm in Texas, so all I hear is, oh, I want to play at Texas, I want to play at Baylor, and all these different things, and not realizing that you might not be able to play at that school, and that's totally fine. But the youth industry, basketball, everything is a small circle. Everybody knows everybody, you know. So being able to pass your name on is good. One of the things that you said, you talked about being able to handle the ball, being able to pass, all these different things. Does height matter? Because if you see a 5'2" guard that can do all of these things, what does that look like for you?
Does height matter? I think that is a we play with Brooke McCarty. And Brooke McCarty was 5'4". She was 5'4" and 50 pounds sopping wet, right? But Brooke McCarty had a specific niche, right? She was great off ball screens. She had great IQ, but she could shoot the ball, right? So when you're that little, you have to be a master with your handle. You have to have a high IQ, and you have to have something that you do intangibly well. Preferably shoot it intangibly well. Like, that was something that she could do in her sleep, right? Shoot the ball. So if you're that small, I think that you have to really, really hone in to building out your skill set and polishing your skill set. And I would say that you need to develop a really great floater, and you have to be a really great 3-point shooter. You got to be a 3-point shooter. That's what I would say. That's what I would say.
That's real good. I definitely agree with that. I see, you know, and just me talking to different coaches, talking specifically about my program. I'm currently working for one of my 24s, you know. She's I think she's 5'5", 5'6". But all I hear is, we're trying to get bigger. We're trying to get bigger. We're trying to get bigger. And the two things that they asked me, or one of the main things that they asked me, is, how well can she shoot the ball? Right? We need to see her consistently shoot it. So I think that, like you just said, that spot on. Like, you have to be able to shoot the basketball. Yeah. So I agree with that. Transfer portal, right? You know, I think that that's a big thing right now. What are your thoughts on transfer portal? Do you feel that it's affecting high school athletes? And what's the solution for it?
What's the solution for it? There's no solution for it.
You hopping in a portal and you had 4 points per game. You played 5 minutes. Like, I don't understand. Where do you think you're going?
Home.
Facts. You going to the crib, like, and then see this portal talk. We could talk about this all day because that's the other thing. Like, it's so many people at the end of the day, like, taking advantage of these kids too, telling them like, you need to hop in the portal. I can get you here. I can get you here. You can't get them nowhere with them numbers, but another favor.
Oh, yep.
And then they back in the
Yep.
portal.
And what you don't tell the kids, man, which is messed up, because these kids are so quick to hop in the portal on that first day. Now you getting washed because you on page 8 and 9 now. Because
Oh,
now
that's a
so
good
many
point.
portal. So I guarantee you, most programs are not going past page 5. Every time you blink, it's another 30 to look into. You know what I'm saying? And now you back on page 9 and 10 because you were so quick to hop in there.
Because you're
You
so
know, you
happy
gotta
to get
tell
in the
these kids.
portal. Sarah, they so happy to get in this, to make this graphic, post it on social media. Don't get me started. Oh my God. They so happy. I can't wait to post this graphic and post it so everybody can put a heart under the page. Everybody can say, I'm proud of you. No. God dang it.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I don't.
It'll be one season start, then what?
Lord. But that's true though. Like, you get in first day, you at the bottom now.
Yeah.
So
They don't take that.
since there's postseason right now, it's gonna be the middle of, when does the portal close? May 18th?
No, May 1st.
No, where did I get May 18th from? May 1st. I don't know where I got May 18th from. Oh wait, it opened March 18th, didn't it? No. Yes,
Yes.
okay. I knew it was an 18 somewhere. But May 1st. So that, I'm gonna say maybe what, middle of April, numbers will probably really be crazy. Once season is
Dude, not
over.
even the middle of April. Shoot, what the Final Four last game was? What, April 8th?
Yeah, oh, right after that.
Shoot, you got to April 10th. That ain't gonna be shit. April 9th, it's gonna be booming.
Now, okay, this is good. All right, so how do you feel that is like affecting high school athletes? Because like, I personally think like a lot of the colleges are probably gonna wait until you got what, first live period is April 19th, whatever that is. Like, I feel like a lot of coaches is gonna be tied up with that, with visits, with portal, to be out in live period. Like, how do you feel like that's affecting high school athletes?
Oh, most definitely, because you got some high school athletes that can come in and make a immediate impact. But the way things are shaking and moving with these coaching staffs now, looking for kids with experience right now that can come in and win right now and make an impact right now. You know what I'm saying? And there are some high school players who can do that, but they're more in the portal that can do it. You know what I'm saying? And like for us that weekend, we gonna split it. Half the staff gonna be on campus and half the staff gonna be out. You know what I'm saying? But some people don't have that luxury.
For
So then they
sure.
gonna have to choose. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to choose, and I guarantee you, they gonna choose to stay on campus and host them visits, man, because it's a doggy dog world out there in that recruiting business. So on campus first, you know what I'm saying, is what it's gonna be about. You know, I can catch you that April live period, cool, but I can catch you on the back end though. You know what I'm saying?
What does that look like from start to finish? Like, how do y'all know what kids you're gonna see, what course you're gonna be on, what time? Like, what does that look like? Because a lot of parents think just because Sacramento State is gonna be in the building, they're gonna see my kid.
I think the preparation is in preparing is huge because you want to maximize and be efficient with your time. We're fortunate that technology allows us to have grids and schedule updates, and just right there on the hand of our phone, we can do evaluations and stuff. So there's a lot of that factors into it to help you be efficient. But I think, you got to know what your wants and needs are for your team. I have two transfers coming in that will be both 1-year kids. So I have 2 open scholarships in the 24 class. Well, I would like to elevate at each spot that I'm replacing. Well, it's going to be hard because they're both, one was freshman of the year in the league a couple years ago. One's a Power 5 transfer. So I got to go looking for high level high school kids. Well, if I'm thinking high level, I'm going to be battling the Power 5s and the, kind of the higher mid-major.
Let me stop you right there. I got to ask the question. Because parents hear it a lot, but what does a high level kid look like?
It depends. It depends. If you're a kid, if you're a player that has USA basketball looking after you, or you got recognition in that you're in ESPN's recruiting class rankings, obviously that's a high level kid because that's determined by rankings. There's some high level kids that aren't getting recognition or don't have rankings or don't have offers. A high level kid, to me, I like athletes. I like kids that can get up and guard you 94 feet, that can run and jump. Well, you got to be able to put it in the basket. I don't need you shooting it off the shot clock, or I don't need you're out on the 3-point line and they're sitting in the lane. So high level shooters. You can be a high level basketball player and just be a shooting specialist that just knock down and have elite range. So it looks different depending on what you want. Now, I've seen a point guard that doesn't even score a lot, but they control the show and are like the quarterback on the floor. Mm-hmm. So high level is kids that can elevate a program immediately wherever they go in college.
I like it. I had to cut you off there because I know a lot of parents, they hear that a lot. And some of them, they think, oh, my kid is high level. And at the end of the day, sometimes the kid can't dribble with their left hand. So,
well, if you're high level, you don't have to tell people your kid's high level. Ooh. Their game's going to tell for itself. Somebody else is going to tell you a value that your kid's high level. And because all parents, I have a elite volleyball daughter. Well, I don't need to tell people she's elite. Her accolades and her game speaks for itself. That's what I think some parents need to do a better job of. I counted since the eval period, I've got 137 because I just got 137 emails or direct messages from people saying, hey, check out my kid. She's a perfect fit for your program. How is she a perfect fit? We've never had a conversation. How do you know what my 3-team rules are? Or how do you know what my standard is? Did you see that we had a tough season record-wise? Because that ain't ever happening again. So, she's a perfect fit. What is that? Or a diamond in the rough? Or, I get all these emails, and it's a lot of the same verbiage, and a lot of it is it's the parents. I'd rather hear it from the kid.
I was going to say, is there a solution?
It's inevitable. I don't know that there's a solution for it. I think that we all know we live in a generation of instant gratification. Yeah. And the kids that are coming up, they want to be instantly gratified. They don't understand that the signs of a great program, the signs of a growing program and a fruitful program is that as a freshman, there are very few freshmen that come in and are playing 40 minutes a game. Right. Because if you're playing 40 minutes a game, that means that you do not have any competition ahead of you. And that means that you're not going into a program that has sustained or built anything yet. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think the transfer portal is inevitable because kids want instant gratification and they are less willing to sit and work for it and don't understand that there's a process. College is a process. There are things that come right after the other. You got to put in your work. I think the transfer portal for high school kids hopefully will help them narrow their focus and will hopefully help them ask the questions that they need to ask so they have an opportunity to find the home that they want. Right. And when I say that they want, it's because the transfer portal allows us now to supplement our recruiting, supplement our teams with kids who have been there and done it. When you have a kid who's 17 years old versus a kid who's 21 years old, who's played 3 years of college basketball, potentially 4 years of college basketball, it's really hard for a coach to weigh it out, right? Because this kid comes in and she's able to come in and immediately impact, so unless you're, one of the top 10 kids in the country who you're going to hold a spot for because you know that they can come in and play immediately at that level, the transfer portal becomes advantageous for coaches in that way. And it could be a disadvantage for high school kids if they're not diligent, if they're not doing their due diligence in vetting their process, right? And then you think about the unlimited official visits now. Like, kids can take 50 official visits if they want to. I think that kids deserve the autonomy to go into the process and really, take onus of it and visit schools and do this and do that. But I don't know if you need unlimited visits, though.
That's crazy.
Unlimited?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That, to me, that's something. It's something. Because now, and I think 5 visits made you really, really key in, okay, I can check X, Y, and Z off of my list because they don't meet the criteria that I've presented for myself as being a high priority need. But now, if I can take 30 visits, it's like, well, heck yeah, I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there. It dilutes the process. It's a diluted.
Best believe they taking all them visits too. They going
all of them. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. I know kids, coaches sometimes want to be somewhere in between the second or third, because to make it to a 4th or 5th visit, it's exhausting. If you're the last visit, good luck to you, because you're just praying at that point that they make it to you.
Right. And when I talk solution, what do you think are some of the solutions for some of these high school athletes? Like you just said, the top of the top, they're gonna get what they're gonna get at the end of the day. But some of these kids that are on the verge of a D1 offer or maybe mid-major, whatever the case may be, like, what are some of the solutions? Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of kids that are trying to figure out, do you think maybe going JUCO, or like, what do you think is some things that kids can do, that parents can talk to their kids about to help them throughout this process?
You mean help them in the recruiting process?
Yes. They see these kids, social media is it.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave us a comment with some of your biggest takeaways. If you didn't have a takeaway, just say, I love supporting It's Just Different podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow on Apple, Spotify, and if you're not following on Instagram, I don't know what you're doing. Follow the page on Instagram. It's Just Different Pod.